Sisterhood of the warrior queens, we are strong women fighting evil unseen. We are mothers and daughters, sisters and friends. We are seeking and guarding the truth till the end. Sisterhood of the warrior queens, united we stand in harmony. Sisterhood of the warrior queens, hand in hand, creating our destiny. Sisterhood of the warrior queens.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sisterhood of the Warrior Queens. I'm so happy to be here with you again this week. I'm Ariel, Truth Seeker, here in the house, in the flesh, and I love you all. So let me just get started and welcome and bring you all in here. I have so many sisters who are already saying hello. So much love to Waters Above and Sherry. You guys are serious legends. You're always here. I appreciate you. And Jess Palmer, good to see you. Thank you so much for showing up. up? Juan Torres, my brother. Hey, in the house. Good to see you. I love all of you guys, and I appreciate you for being here. This week is going to be a really, really good show. This week's guest is super special, and I'm so excited for the subject that we're going to talk about. Oh my gosh. So, without much further ado, because I don't really have anything else to talk about, let's just go ahead and get on into it, and let me introduce you guys to Miss Kayleigh. And Miss Kayleigh, I don't even know how to say your last name, so you say it for me.
It's Berkana.
Berkana, Miss Kayleigh Berkana in the house. Girl, how is it going?
It's going good. It's going good. Ral, you're such a beautiful soul. Thank you so much for bringing me on this week. I'm going to have fun.
Oh, no, thank you for being here. I'm excited. Where are you at again?
I live in Canada, so I'm in Western Canada over near the Rockies in Alberta. Alberta.
Okay, that's what's up, man.
I like to call it China-da.
Well, now anyway, right? Like, gosh, I'm sorry. Wow. We don't have to get into any of that stuff, but I'll just say that I did have a friend from high school who moved to Canada years ago. Back when I thought that I could go to Canada one day and visit her, but now I don't think that will ever happen. So so sad.
Yeah, I literally just saw yesterday an article that was posted about emigration out of Canada, and over the last year, it's the highest it's been in decades. Decades. I'm like, yeah, no shit. No shit. I'm like, holy fuck. But oh my god,
crazy, man. Like, people are just flocking away like the opposite direction, and it's not even that easy to leave, right?
No, it's not. It's really not. But you know what? I'm working really hard on rewriting that narrative in my mind about how difficult something is. Because I have a tendency to, my silly brain goes to worst possible case scenario first, and then I have to like top myself down a little bit, like, whoa. What's actually more realistic? But also, am I like giving up my power when I believe in those situations or scenarios as like impossible scenarios? And I mean, it's not impossible. We are finding ways around it.
Yes.
So we're finding ways. There's always a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. So there's a way.
Exactly. There's always hope. We never give anyone more power over us than they actually have. So there we go. Yeah,
exactly. Let's start this stream off strong.
Oh my gosh. And look at that painting behind you. That's beautiful. Did you do that yourself?
I did. Yeah, I'll show you guys. So yeah, I painted this.
Holy shiitake mushrooms!
It's based off a picture, so it didn't come just from my mind. It was copying a picture, but
I mean, yeah. Okay,
but I still did it.
You put it together, the colors and everything.
Yeah, I did a paint night. Sorry. Oh, that's fucked up. Okay. Oh shit. Okay, yeah, sorry. So yeah, actually, it wasn't last New Year's, but the New Year's before that, I went to my aunt and uncle's for a New Year's paint night. And okay, I know this is a safe space. So.
Yes, this is a safe space.
my aunt and uncle have been like hardcore truther, conspiracy, Christian preppers for years. Yeah. And I always thought that my aunt was crazy. Like, seriously, I thought my aunt was crazy. She's talking about the Jesuits and like all of this stuff. And I'm like, chemtrails and shit. I'm like, okay, Frankie, you need to relax a little bit. Here I am. And I'm like, Frankie, look at these fake and gay clouds. I'm like, that is not natural. And she's like, I've been trying to tell you for like the past 10 years. I'm like, wow. I wasn't ready, man. I wasn't ready. But anyway, so New Year's, we had to laugh, okay? Because my cousin, smokes marijuana, and my uncle smokes marijuana. And on Christmas, we're like sitting there like, how crazy is it that it's more illegal to be gathered as a family on Christmas than it is to smoke weed? What the fuck? What the fuck?
What?
It makes no
How
sense.
upside down is reality right now?
Right, I know. So that was a huge joke around Christmas 2020, but yeah.
Wow.
Good times.
Man,
But anyway, so
your
that
family-
was a paint night with my aunt.
Paint night with your that was that paint night with your
That
family.
was that.
Oh my gosh, that's an amazing memory.
That's where that story came from. I'm like,
let me just play this right here. I love it. I love it. So
Yeah.
your family, wait a minute. Your family was into conspiracies 10 years ago and you thought they were crazy. So what changed your mind about them being crazy?
they were fucking crazy. You know what? I had to go on my own path. That's really what it was. I needed to go on my own path. And now you'll notice, I don't know if you're familiar with Sparrow, but this is so Matt Landman. He literally did a documentary about chemtrails called Frankenskies.
Okay.
And he released a bunch of clothing and stuff that has silver threads in it. So I'm literally wearing a tinfoil hat.
You are literally wearing a tinfoil hat, and I need one, and I need to find one like ASAP, like ASAP.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my gosh, that's amazing.
Shout out to Matt Landman. But anyway, yeah. So his website, by the way, I'm not sponsored. Just putting that out there. I'm not sponsored by Matt. I just think that his stuff is awesome. So yeah, sparrowprotectionclothing.com, I believe it is. So you can check it out. Yeah, pretty sure that's the website. Pretty sure
that's amazing.
But yeah,
Okay.
anyways, so I needed to go on my own journey to figure stuff out. That's just what needed to happen. So yeah, when I got out of high school, 2009, I graduated high school. Okay, to kind of give you guys an age range, right? I wanted to go into welding. I wanted to work with my hands and work with steel and like make cool shit. And I was like, yeah, because like, you know, that's just what I was into. And I'm still into that. I'm still into doing stuff with my hands, obviously. But yeah, it just ended up being a really toxic. Oh, thanks, buddy. It ended up being a really toxic environment for me. But I stayed, and that was my pattern. Was this is not good for me, but I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking it up till the end, and you can see where this is going, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was already engaged in this pattern of like clinging to things and people and situations and like, you know, whatever, because of like my own lack of self-worth at the time, like not really knowing my true value, just be like, well, no, I'll never find something better, or whatever the thought was going through my head, or even as bad as like, I deserve this. Like, you know, those things, you don't necessarily consciously think them, but subconsciously you're staying in situations that are not good for you. So
we accept the love we think we deserve.
Exactly. 100%. So this is a pattern. And, at that point in time, like it was 2014 that I started talking to this gentleman. So I was working through my welding apprenticeship. So up here to get your journeyman, it's called, you have to go through a 3-year apprenticeship.
Okay.
So I was working through my apprenticeship, and I started talking to somebody that I met online, of course.
Of course. 2014 was the time to do that too.
What a good time. So anyway, I met this fucking dude. And you know what? The whole time, he was forcing red pills down my throat. Like, seriously, like, he's like, 9/11 was a hoax. It was an inside job. And I'm like, oh. But it was fascinating to me because I wanted to know about this stuff. So, you know, I was like super fascinated, but he was also extremely toxic and not good for me at all. But yeah, so that was like, that time period was like my first introduction to a lot of this stuff. And up until that point, I'd been like super atheist. Like I grew up in a very Christian home, and ended up going the opposite direction. I was like, fuck all y'all. I'm out of here.
We've all been there.
I feel like it's a phase you need to go through. Right? But yeah, I was like, no, I know better.
We all know better.
Yeah, so anyway, super atheist at the time, started dating this motherfucker, and sorry. It's just how I feel. Anyway, started dating this lovely gentleman, and you know what? Honestly, at the end of the day, as much as he was not a very nice person, I'm thankful for that experience. Right? I don't know, Sherry. That's an excellent. If I knew.
If I knew. My story is the same. Listen, you're telling my story over here.
Yeah, girl, I know. I've seen your chart.
Shut up.
But yeah, so like, it was a very valuable experience though, because that like really sent me off into my like dark night of the soul. Like I needed that experience. I needed that utter disillusionment. And maybe it didn't have to be so fucking extreme, but but at the same time, like if it wasn't that intense, would I have changed?
Right.
I don't know. But anyway, so like I try not to play that what if game because that's not the reality that I currently live in. So like,
oh my gosh, it's so difficult not to do that though. Like if only, what if, like, I just shoulda, coulda, woulda. Like, man, that's kind of my favorite land to live in, and I'm trying so hard to find a new place to live because it's boring.
It's not reality.
It's not reality. No, exactly.
Yeah, and like that word should. I hate that word. It's my least favorite word, should. I heard from a counselor once, because I had to go through some fucking serious therapy. I heard from a counselor once, he said, don't should on me, I won't should on you. And I was like, I'm filing that one away. Because like when you say should, like you should do this, you should do that. This is how it should be. This is how it should have been. Well, that's arguing with reality, son. That's not what happened. That's not what it is. So yeah, anyway,
man.
Every time I say should, I'm like,
right.
Could? Is could more appropriate here? Like, yeah, so words have so much power.
I like that. All right. I won't should on you if you don't should on me. That's gonna be on a t-shirt. Nah, next.
I love it. Let's do it. Let's do it up. Yeah.
Okay, so you met the dude
so like I met the motherfucker. He was forcing red pills down my throat, by the way. Not advisable. Don't do that. And I was literally just talking with Jenny B, actually. I don't know if she's in the chat yet, but I was talking with Jenny about this today. Like, you can't force stuff on people. Like, it's psychologically damaging. So anyway, I left him after some very, very, very serious and intense things went down. I left him finally because, I didn't want to end up as some crazy headline. I wanted to live. So I was like, okay, we gotta go now. So I left. And then I had to go through a several year process of putting myself back together and trying to figure what the fuck just happened. And it was in that process of like going to very serious therapy. Like that became my job for a short time, was like,
surviving.
Fix yourself. Fix yourself.
Healing.
And stop hurting yourself. It took a while. I'm serious, it took a while. But in the end, like I have learned so many skills, and I now know like so many of the red flags that like that's like it's become like a superpower for me. Like, I know what you're doing right there. I've seen this tactic before. I've seen this before. I know how this pattern goes. Really, it sharpened my pattern recognition skills, I'd say.
Nice.
But yeah, so I needed to go through this pretty crazy, intense process where like I just had to do a lot of the work.
Yes.
There's no other way to put it. I just had to do the work. And during that period, I needed to go through rehab. So I went through rehab, and then I was put into like AA rooms, and bless AA. That shit was written by some occultists, okay? That was written by some occultists for sure. But anyway, I'm sitting in these. Yeah, that's one way to put it. But anyway, so I'm sitting in these rooms, and they're like, okay, so you need to have a relationship with a higher power. Whatever God is to you, you need to have a relationship with it, because that's what's going to save you. Ultimately, you're going to save yourself, but you have to do the work and you have to connect in some way. Find something that you believe in and start praying to it. I'm like, wow, that's dark, but okay. And Jesus, but it was true at the same time. It's like people relapse all the time. It's so easy to go back into those patterns and go back into abusing like horrible substances and putting yourself into horrible situations, unless you start filling your cup in other ways, through healthy ways. That's the only way to do it. You have to replace the patterns with something else. You have to, exactly. And so many people that go through AA, for as an example, end up becoming addicted to gambling or relationship stuff, right? Or food, right? They replace the addiction with some other addiction because they're still trying to fill that hole. So as long as that void is there and you're not filling it from within, from a higher source, you're going to keep social media like, oh God, I fall into that one a lot. I'm like, let's do on Telegram, and then I'm there for 3 hours.
It's so easy, man. Scrolling, it's so easy.
I gotta call myself out now because we're talking about it. I'm like, oh shit. Oh fuck. But yeah, anyway, so like that was like my first kind of like, okay, all right, I guess I better like confront this inner turmoil and anger at God, because that's really what it was, because I was fucking mad. I was like, how could you let this happen? So it took me a long fucking time, but eventually I started to have some kind of relationship with some kind of higher power, and it took a long time for me to even be able to say the word God without getting fucking mad and triggered. Like childhood trauma coming up.
Yes. It takes a while.
Yeah. And it's only been until like this last year where I can even look at Bible verses without getting just angry, because it has nothing to do with what's actually being discussed. It has everything to do with circumstances around stuff. Right. And conspiracy stuff too. It took a long time to be able to touch any conspiracy topics that were even closely related to my ex because of the fucking trauma. So it's taken a while, but I needed to go through those crazy ass things and then experience what I did to learn the skills that I did to get the like psychological basis down before I could really flower and start opening up in my spirituality and actually being able to like look at some really dark shit without losing my fucking mind. So that's my background.
That's amazing though. And your journey is not okay, so I was going to say your journey is not unique, but it is. I just meant like there's so many people who have been through trauma who have come through the other side, and trauma for whatever reason is necessary to make stronger light beings. And every single light being who has awakened talks about something in their past, childhood trauma, sexual trauma, like just relationship trauma. Like there's lots of different types of trauma. I feel like abandonment issues, there's
fuck yeah.
So we could talk about that all the time, but no, what each person, each individual human has their own thing that it was story for them. Exactly, right? And then your healing journey, you said it took a long time. Your time was your time. And some people, they heal faster. Grief is interesting. And grief has so many different stages, right?
Yeah. And it's not linear at all. It's kind of like fucking loop-de-loos.
Loop-de-loops. No, exactly. Yep. Exactly. So did you have your family during that time? Like, was your family around?
Yeah. So, like, honestly, my mom has been so supportive for so much. And there was a period of time where I needed to be away from them too. Especially in the early stages right after I left my ex, because I was still in those same patterns, right. And so but honestly, I'm really lucky or blessed, like whichever word you want to use. Both are, I think, apply, because my mom is reasonably not crazy, which is so fucking huge. Like, I've met so many people with really fucked up stories about their parents. I'm like, oh my god. But not to say we don't have our issues, right? I mean, the childhood stuff came from somewhere, but I'm in a place now where I can have a conversation with her about something. And I've worked out not all, but a significant amount of like the mom-daughter stuff.
Yeah.
And like, there's more. There'll probably always be more. That's kind of a continuous process with healing and life and the unfoldment that is life. You know? Yeah. But I'm pretty lucky. My family has been really supportive, and I have some pretty cool sisters too. And my little sister Jolene, she's like she knew about Pizzagate before I did. Okay, so
really? Okay. So tell me how many sisters were the age ranges and everything?
Oh shit. Okay, I have 3 sisters and a brother.
Okay.
Only one sibling is a full-blooded sibling. The others have different fathers or moms.
Okay.
It was a good time.
Good time.
Yeah. So yeah, my little sister is just like 1 year younger than me.
Okay.
And then everybody else is older. 8 years older, and then like 10 and 11 or 12 years older, something like that. But yeah, so my
your younger one, yeah.
So yeah, my and the one older sister that's 8 years older, I grew up with her. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, so lots of ladies. Lots of ladies in the house.
That's awesome, but you're the middle child. Okay.
Dude, middle child syndrome is real, okay? Like, yeah, just ignore Kayleigh, it's fine.
Oh no! Is that a thing? Man, I would be okay, because I was the oldest, and I was the oldest of 3, and my little sisters were twins. So
fun.
Like, yeah, they had each other, and it was me, and it was like I got in trouble, man. I was a bitch. I'm not even gonna lie. I was so mean to them, and we did not get along at all. But we're kind of okay now. I think I'm friends with one of them.
Do you think?
I think no, I swear. No, we're great. But yeah, middle child, that's pretty cool. And your younger sister, you said she was knew about Pizzagate before you did, so she was into the conspiracy and stuff too. So what about your mom and your dad? Like your dad was. So
my dad actually passed away when I was pretty young. But you know what? I've got some fucking questions for him. Okay, 1-800-HEAVEN, motherfucker, what's up? Because I'm pretty sure that he was a lot more hip to a lot of things than what they let on. Like, I literally just learned the other day, he was a surveyor. He's a land surveyor.
Oh, okay.
And I learned that occasionally he would use dowsing rods to find water and stuff like that.
That's cool.
And I was like, oh really?
Oh really? To find water. Tell me more, Father.
Right? I know. But he's fucking dead, so I can't even ask him.
My apologies. I'm sorry. I could have been more sensitive about that. You
it's
did
okay,
just
buddy.
say your mom, and you did not mention your dad, so that's on me. Anyway, so
that's okay. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, you know what? My mom, being super Christian, stays away from all of the occult stuff, and even said like, this is where some of the feelings towards Christianity and the Bible comes from, like thou shalt not suffer a witch to live, and like oh, Jesus, what the but that's in our blood. Like, I'm Celtic, like, look at that name, Kayleigh, that's Gaelic as fuck, like, what do you come on. And then I got really, anyway. I love my mom though, but at the same time, like, she knows about the woo. She does know about the woo. We've definitely brushed on like 4D, 5D type things before and talked about that, but I'm like, Mom, fairy's real. And she's like, and I'm like, you're not fun. oh shit.
gosh.
But lately, you know what? At the start of 2020, she was listening to a lot of news all the time. And my little sister and I moved back home 2020 when this whole thing rolled out, because I was in a really not the best living situation at the beginning of 2020. I'm like, well, hey, Mom, can I come home?
Yes,
please. So anyway, so me, my sister, my niece, my sister's boyfriend, and 2 huskies. That's what's in the house, okay?
Oh, 2 huskies. That's amazing.
They're so sweet. But anyway, yeah, so Mom was watching a ton of news, and my sister and I were both sat down with her. We're like, Mom,
please,
even if this is going on, watching this all the time is raising our fear and raising our anxiety levels, and that will make us sick. So then finally she did start like turning it off and not watching news and stuff. And then now in the last like couple months, she's been listening to Jordan Peterson and Joe Rogan, and I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. It's a start. So it's like, that's awesome.
Right?
Yeah. Man. And like I'll listen to like Chance's podcast, Interverse, by the way, for any of y'all that don't know. I'll listen to Chance's podcast, and but like full blast, so like everybody gets to listen to me to it with me.
Make sure everybody can hear that residual subconscious hearing.
Exactly. I mean, I don't do it on purpose, but I'm like, no, I'm not gonna hide what I'm doing or listening to. I'm just gonna do it. And if you think I'm crazy, there's the front door.
Right, exactly. You gotta be okay with who you are, at least in your own house, right? Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, oh my gosh. But anyway, yeah. So, there have been a few episodes where I've been listening to like Interverse, or even to David Whitehead. I don't know if you're familiar with him. Truth Warrior, David Whitehead. He's another Canadian podcaster, and has been actually researching like the human trafficking and occult stuff for more than 18 years. And he goes on, he co-hosts Unslaved with Michael Sarian. So it's just, anyway, so listening to David Whitehead and Chance a lot. And
Whitehead, you guys, I'm learning, I'm writing it down. Where's my pen?
He actually has just released the 7th episode of a fantastic series that he's doing called Cult of the Medics. And it goes all into the cult ties to the medical mafia and all of that lovely stuff. So anyway, I was listening to some of that and like learning things about like the Red Cross that I didn't know. And then my mom has been listening to it with me, and she's like, oh my God, what is that? I need to listen to more of that. What the fuck? And I'm like, yeah.
That's amazing. Yes. Good. See, it just takes time, right? Everyone's on their own journey, like you say, and if you're dropping bits of truth around, eventually, they have to stumble over the seeds, right?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, so she kind of listens to stuff, and I'm gonna look up David Whitehead.
I'm so proud of my mom, honestly.
Oh man, no, that's great. My mom too. Yeah. My mom has always actually been like, I guess, awake at least to the medical mafia. That's what started her, because she's big on health and everything. And I appreciate my mom too for being like super open-minded, because she is definitely like your mom, devout Christian to the Bible, Southern Baptist type way.
Ooh.
But it can be really like that's how I was raised. It's very strict. But she still, regardless of that, she listens to me. She'll watch my podcast.
Oh, shout out to Rel's mom.
Yeah, no, and I'm gonna have her. She's gonna be a guest on this month. Too. So I mean, I appreciate my mom as well. And we stepped back away from each other because I felt like it was toxic. We didn't talk for like 2.5 years, and we just started back up like last year. I feel like, and it's been great, just to be, because I'm an adult, right? And I came back on my own terms. Like it's all about finding yourself and who you are now, right?
Yeah, and it's so funny, our relationship with our parents, hey, because it's like with my mom, the more I find out about my mom, the more I'm like, fuck, I'm you.
I'm you.
How did this happen? I did everything I could to not be you.
I don't want to be like, I'm trying not to be you. Like, why is this? Like, you're in my head constantly. Like, can I not? Can we please be two different people? Please.
It's so fucking funny. Oh my god. Oh my god.
But at the same time, I think we're better, almost better versions of them, right? Is that bad to say? Like, we're supposed to be. Isn't that what children are supposed to be? We're supposed to be learning and unlearning the generational curses.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean,
we're supposed to be evolving.
I think I did it better, but hey.
Oh gosh, maybe I'll take a couple more years before I say I did it better.
Oh,
that's
that's
to
funny.
sound as arrogant as it came out today.
Oh shit! No, we are different. We are different, but there's a lot of patterns that
Right.
I know that I repeat, and then now I know I'm like, but at the same time, I'm like, love you, mom.
Those are ingrained, right?
Yeah, yeah,
and
and
it's learned and generationally in your DNA or whatever. You just have to become consciously aware of it. Once you're aware of it, though, that's it's on you to make the change.
That's the magic. That's the work. And then, like, you know, and the more I realize that, like, oh, I really hate this about this person, the more I have to look inside and be like, do I do that sometimes, though?
Mm-hmm.
And if I do that, do I hate that about myself too? Is that a bad thing? And like, this is the whole like battle that comes up after you've had a run-in with a narcissist or a psychopath that you have to go through. And it's like, is there a version of me that could be that evil too?
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah.
But once you integrate that, then it stops manifesting outside of you until, of course, your fucking prime minister is the embodiment of that. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I thought I dealt with this already. No, that was my training. No. That was training for the boss battle.
From this. Yikes, man. I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, shit. I'm laughing right now. Okay, so, but I can't, because I've already cried about it. I've already cried about it, so I'm ready to laugh now.
I'm ready to laugh now. Oh, my God, that's funny. Oh, my gosh, that's amazing.
Oh,
so you have your family, though, so that's pretty cool, because a lot of conspiracy people normally are very, very isolated, and so it's great to hear that you kind of have your mom and there. So all right, we've kind of touched on your background and how you came, like the before and after. So that was before. So like after, I feel like as strong of a person as you are, you have used your superpowers for good now. Like, I see so many great outlets coming out of you, like your art for one, which is amazing. And I love that you work with your hands. I have so many friends that are crafty. Shout out to Wendy, my sister Wendy. Oh my gosh. Do you have anything else you wanted to show for your paintings or anything?
I brought a few things into the room. So it's like, oh, I do crafts. Let's start with the paintings.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited.
So I've got these 4 paintings that I have in like my living room area, and I brought the earth one to show y'all because it's springtime.
Oh, look at
so
the
we have a little baby bear, and he's looking out.
How long have you been painting? And it's a bear paw. That's cool.
Oh, that's actually totally accidental. Nice. He's supposed to be in a cave, and he's like, is Mama gonna come back? I don't know. Maybe I have to go out there, and it's a little bit scary, but like, there's friends. Look, there's friends. So you like, it's okay. It's safe. You can exit the cave.
It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's okay. You can do it. But yeah, that's one of my favorites that I've done. Okay, so painting. I have painted very, very little before my ex. So before,
because there's before and after
2014. Yeah. There's before and there's after. Holy
Yeah,
shit, yeah.
of course.
Yeah, so
wow.
like before a little bits here and there, like I remember my grandma teaching me how to do watercolor and then like, you know, like some finger painting and shit, but like not really expressing myself. And then it became a very important outlet while I was actually going through rehab, and then afterwards as well, to just try and express some of the emotions that I was really struggling to express or integrate, you know? Yeah, so then
Right. Okay. Therapy. Love it.
yeah,
Music and art are
therapy.
good for therapy. Yes.
Right, exactly. And actually, before I show this next painting, so another kind of like way of working with my hands that I picked up was actually leather work. So
Leather.
leather. Oh yes. So yeah, I love leather. So went from working with metal to like this long break of not really doing much with my hands, and then like picked up painting a bit, and then leather. So yeah, it's kind of a long story, but I went so I like fantasy, like medieval type shit. Like I'm like, oh fuck yeah, I love that. BX, yeah, that's a good acronym. So BX was a different lifestyle. Yeah, anyways. So I love that kind of shit, right? So I made friends with some people that owned a sword shop. And I'm like, yeah, swords are fucking cool. I like that. So anyway, so I went and I was hanging out just in their shop just because I was roommates with one of the people that worked there for a long time. And one of the gentlemen that worked there had also gone through rehab and was now 9 years sober from the drug that I was trying to get off of. So I was like, wow, that's awesome. So he let me like play with some scrap leather pieces, right? And was like showing me some stuff. He's like, this is how you do this. And I was like, oh, that's fucking sweet. So anyway, so I picked up leatherworking and I made just recently.
Holy shit, Kayleigh.
Yeah, girl. So that's my current journal that I'm working with.
Oh my god! And do you sell? Cause can I buy? Will you make me one?
Yeah, girl. Yeah, I do. But yeah, actually, I brought a few of my leather things. So that's something that I picked up recently, and thanks, Shannon. You're so sweet, Shannon. You're so sweet. Anyway, yeah. So I when 2021 was rolling through, right, I needed an outlet again. I needed something to do. So I picked up leather again because I had left that shop. So I wasn't working. They actually they were paying me money to do art. So that was fucking cool. But anyway, I left that shop and I wasn't doing that anymore. So I bought some leather for myself. And 2021, as I was really studying astrology, really hardcore. By the way, guys, I do astrology. But anyway, so while I was doing that really hardcore, we didn't even mention it yet. I did a series of wallets for the zodiac. So this is the Aries wallet.
Aries wallet. Wow.
So we got Aries. Fire, that's a symbol for Aries, right? And some little fire on the side there. And then on the back, I put the ruling planet. So there's Mars. This one's got black on the inside. And this one has sold, but they have, this one has sold. But anyway, they're one of a kind. And then I brought the Taurus one too. It's Taurus.
Oh, look at that.
Taurus.
Girl.
Sweet.
Seriously.
Venus on the back.
Do you have a website?
This one's got like
put it in there.
Leather on the bottom.
That's cool. Alligator.
Right, yeah. But it's fake alligator. It's not real alligator.
Right. No, but the texture looking.
Some cows. This is cow leather, but this is not alligator. Cow leather. So I'm working on a website. I haven't gotten a website yet. But I do have a Telegram channel that I've been posting to. And you could search just Kayleigh Berkana, no space. So I'll give you the link to that. Sorry.
Please do, guys.
I'm the worst. I'm like we don't need to advertise. It's okay.
Yes, we do, because I want some.
Shit.
I
Right?
need some, and your paintings as well. Like, come
right?
on.
Yeah. We're getting there. So, I remembered that you were Cancer rising, so I grabbed the Cancer one to show you too. And Cancer moon. Yes, we got a little water. It's got a little crayon on the bottom. The moon. Look at the moon. Yeah, and this one's I was using scraps for this one. Can you tell?
No, I could not tell.
It was intentional.
Okay, that one is sold.
Okay, all right.
I want the Aquarius one too. I've claimed that one in the future.
Yeah, it was funny. I forgot what your sun sign was, so I just grabbed your rising.
I like it. That was okay.
Yeah, the Aquarius one, I can't remember if it's blue or black. I forget. I think it's a little bit of both. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, so that's been the leathers. That's really fun. And so I made this series, and then I did make an Etsy shop, and I had it for a little bit, but I launched it at a really crappy time, and then all of this woke fucking bullshit was rolling out, and I was like, okay, fuck you, Etsy. Yeah, and I needed to take a break from doing outward facing things. Like, I really just needed to take like an internally focused time break thing, whatever. So that was last summer. I went and worked on a farm for the summer with goats. I was milking goats every day. It was fucking awesome. But goats, I love goats. But anyway, but yeah, so I kind of like lagged and wasn't really posting, but I was studying and I was learning and I was in nature. So I think that was necessary. It was important to do it that way. Yeah, so then I've just taken down my Etsy store and I'm working on like getting a proper website set up. But for now, you can come find me on Telegram. And I do have YouTube, and I do have some other social media under the same name. I've never updated. I'm terrible with social media. I hate it.
It's not good for us, so we should not worry about it. Really, it's just a tool, to stay connected here and there. That's how I see it. Okay, great. So we're gonna make sure to drop that Telegram in the chat, because people are gonna want those leathers and gosh, I have so many friends who are painting. So not even Dottie paints too, and Wendy. Oh my gosh, you guys, we have plenty of people. Yeah, you can get original artwork. I don't have space in my house for artwork, but there's several ideas that I want to commission people to do that I eventually want. So this is why I'm collecting my repertoire of artists to call upon.
Right.
For eventually for when I do that. So while I'm taking a break, let me just pull up here and see who all is here. I appreciate you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun. This conversation is fire right now. And you guys are amazing for being here. Let me see who all is here. We've got 14 people watching. Much love. Oh, sorry. We don't need to hear that. Double speed. That's funny. So, all right. So in the chat, we've got Awakened Mind. Much love to you, brother. And Jenny T.I. Hey, girl. I'm going to call you. Don't worry. Cody Clearman. I've never seen your name before. So much love. Thanks for being here. Mark Wood, brother. What's up from another mother? RT, good to see you. I appreciate you for being here. And Shannon LeGras and Sherry I was a y'all's child. Oh, y'all are repeat offenders. I appreciate y'all for coming back. Thank you so much. You guys are always awesome in the chats and everything. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Rose helps with Crow 777 podcast, and she has her own show. Well, that's pretty cool. Cody, I love Rose. I would love to have Rose on the show one day. Hopefully, maybe when I get a couple more subscribers, I can entice Rose 777 to come in and give us some of her knowledge, her wisdom. But okay, so you are into stars, and that is the first thing that I knew about you, actually, because when we met during the it was in the Interverse Telegram, and I was trying to be open-minded about astrology, and I got my birth chart read. So I would like to know why you like the stars so much. Can we start there first?
Sure. Oh, why? Why? I feel like astrology helps me answer why. You know? So in my quest to find some kind of higher power that I could believe in that didn't just make me fucking angry.
Yeah.
I needed to start exploring. And fortunately or unfortunately, I did go down a little bit of like a new age rabbit hole where I was really sucked into that for a little bit. And I think that was a necessary part of it as well. But anyway, so like started getting into like tarot readings and astrology, just like trying to like find something. And I started actually like legitimately praying to some higher power. And I didn't really have a name for it or anything, but I was just like, okay, God, universe. Okay, universe. I can use you. I can use that. That's a good one. Sure, okay, great. Or like higher self or like whatever. Yeah, we all did our David Wilcock prom. Exactly, Sherry. Exactly. Right?
Seriously, no, she's not wrong. She is not wrong.
It's a phase. It's a phase. But yeah, that was important to me. But anyway, astrology, once I actually really started learning about it and came across the Hermetic principles, the most common one that you hear all of the time is as above, so below, as within, so without. Once I understood that and then witnessed it playing out in real fucking time, it was like, holy shit, mind blown. Wow. So like 2020, for example, March 2020, we had a massive conjunction in tropical Capricorn of Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars. That's the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, motherfucker. I'm not even joking. Mars is war. Okay.
Right.
Pluto is pestilence.
Okay.
So, like, that one's debatable, but whatever. But Pluto is also like mass propaganda and like affecting mass consciousness. So that's another way to look at it, okay? Jupiter, when Jupiter is in a negative aspect, so usually Jupiter is all about like expansion and joviality and like higher philosophy and healing and all of that lovely stuff. He can cause excess, gluttony, but he can also, if he's flipped, can cause things that are bad to expand. Quote unquote bad. Negative things to expand. So like, so he represents famine in this particular one. And then Saturn's death. It's the Grim Reaper scythe carrier. So I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What is going on?
March of 2020, that was literally all of the things that we were battling.
Yeah, so it's like, holy shit, this is crazy. But then when Saturn moved into tropical Aquarius, literally the day that he crossed the degree into 0 degrees tropical Aquarius, lockdowns. Aquarius represents the people, movement of the people, networking. Saturn is control and restriction. Lockdowns. I was like, what the fuck? So anyway, watching it play out literally like that was just so insane. Yes, exactly, Cody. From the inward doth the outward roll. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Where is that from? Do you know where that's from?
So I first heard that I've heard that that's the original way to say it. I've heard Dylan Zacascio and Chance both say it that way.
Okay.
Nice. I haven't seen the original source yet, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's way more flowery and beautiful, but it's true. From the inward doth the outward roll, and vice versa, motherfuckers. So,
and vice versa, motherfuckers. I like that part. I'm putting that part on there. That's an official part now.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Yep, that's exactly how we're doing it from now on.
Shit.
Oh my
Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah. Oh shit. So anyway, it was really crazy to watch it roll out so literally like that.
Yeah.
And then what I started noticing, like, so because of the craziness of my previous journey, I was still having a lot of trouble when I came into any kind of conspiracy waters where it was just like, nope, can't do it, too much drama. So it took a lot of like consistent work. But seriously, 2020, I wasn't sure what was going on at first. It took a few months to be like, okay, no, something is up here, because I started realizing, like, hey, wait a minute, all of y'all are triangulating. You know what that is? Triangulation, other than being a little triangle,
right? Yeah.
yeah. It is a tactic used by lots of people, and actually even gossiping is technically a form of triangulation, where people will try to get you to connect in a backwards way by uniting against something. So a healthy way of connection is to connect for something. Right. So like, we are uniting for this cause or whatever.
Yeah.
A backwards way of connection and triangulation is when triangulation is like, that's the enemy out there, so we have to unite against this enemy. That's a common. You're welcome. I will laugh all day long like that, okay? It's taken a long time to get my laugh back. Sorry.
I love your laugh. Oh my gosh, your laugh is so pure.
Oh boy. Oh man, yeah, thank you. It took a while to get it back. But anyway, so like, triangulation is basically essentially when you're like, okay, that's the enemy out there, we have to unite against it. And it's a common classic form of manipulation, honestly, straight up. And yeah, you're right, Sherry. We do it to kids all the time. But yeah, so once I realized that was happening, I was like, wait a minute. Is that really what's going on here? Or am I being coerced right now? Because like, I'm recognizing a pattern here that I'm very intimately fucking familiar with, and I don't like it. And then I was like, okay, all right, something's up here. And then I was like, okay, well, now I have to face some big traumas that I don't want to face, but I have to start questioning some things. And that was really uncomfortable, but it was really important to go through. And like I said, I'm so grateful for that experience with that particular individual, because if I was not for that experience and learning about these tactics, I wouldn't have figured out for much longer what was actually going on. And I was like, okay, this is really fucked up. If this was actually about health, we wouldn't be shamed into doing things. We wouldn't be getting called names, which is another abusive tactic. I'm like, okay, if you can convince me of this without using abuse and manipulation, then we can talk about it. But if you can't, then there's nothing to talk about, because you're just trying to control me, and I'm not down with that, okay? Exactly. There is always a war effort, 100%. So yeah, anyway, so where was I going with that? Astrology.
No, you're good. Astrology. Yeah, you were telling us why you liked it and how you got into it, basically.
Yeah, so that was a big thing. And then like, so once I got to that and started figuring out, okay, no, there's actually legitimately a narrative being given to us, and that's bullshit. Then I started realizing that a lot of astrologers and tarot readers and stuff that I was listening to were either just hopping onto that narrative and continuing that story, or just weren't talking about it at all. And I was like, okay, well, what's up with that? But I did actually find some that were like, no, okay, this is bullshit. And I'm so thankful for those ones. I'm so thankful. Like, for example, the Leo King, whatever you want to think about him, he was the first one that I actually heard that had a big name that was actually talking about, no, this is manipulation. And I actually put out a big 4-hour-long video about the age of manipulation, and this is what's happening, and I fucking called it. I was like, okay, thank you. And then the peace dealer was another big one that I was like, oh, thank you. So refreshing. So refreshing for people to be speaking truth and not just be worrying about the clicks and, you know. So anyway, it took some time, but like to help me sharpen my discernment, really. And now it's a lot easier. Like, okay, you're going along with that? All right. Click off.
Right.
Now I'm like, sorry.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But anyway, so now I'm even at a place with astrology where I'll be reading a book about it or trying to find someone to like maybe take a course from or whatever. And if their interpretation of Aquarius is super new agey and they're not talking about what the dark side of Aquarius looks like, then I don't trust them. Yes, Ralph Smart is awesome. I love Ralph Smart. Thank you. Waters above, infinite wise. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Breathing that good ass prana, baby.
Watch so many people I'm writing down. I'm like, I gotta look up all these people.
Yeah, but anyway, so that's a big red flag for me because yeah, it's one that I pick out all the time. I'm like, oh, is that what you think of Aquarius? We need to talk about that. So anyway, and another thing that I'm running into now is I have a lot of people talking to me about sidereal and true sidereal versus tropical and like, what's the real system? And I know that you love talking about what's real. So that's actually something that I'm looking into right now. So far, I have found that tropical is very accurate. Okay. It just is. The difference between tropical and sidereal is based on the constellations in the sky. Okay. So what you would actually see if you went outside. So like the moon is within the stars of Cancer. That's right sidereal. Now.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. It's not right now. That's just an example. But like,
but like you're talking about right now, I can like if it was right now.
That's what I can see with my eyes. Right. That's sidereal. And honestly, I really feel like a lot of the systems have a lot of value. It's just what works for you. So anyway, tropical, the difference between tropical and sidereal. Sidereal is what you can see with your eyes. Tropical, 0 degrees Aries is the spring equinox, period. In sidereal, on the spring equinox, it's not in Aries. The sun is actually in Pisces. Okay. So there's about a 26 or 27 degree difference between where the sun is actually in the sky and where it is when spring starts in tropical. But the big difference between these two is in the tropical system, we're basing the energy of Aries off of the energy of spring. That's what spring is. It's Aries. It's the beginning of the cycle. It's the initiatory like push of energy. It's the sprouting of seeds, literally the sprouting, right, of seeds of life, right? You know, it's a very interesting kind of debate to get into. Yeah, right? Like,
so tell me why does that matter? Tell me why is that important to know the difference?
Well, if the sun is in sidereal Pisces and the sun is in tropical Aries, they're going to have different meanings because it's like the planet or luminary or whatever you want to call it is wearing different clothes when they're in those two different signs. So in Aries, the energy of Aries is it's the beginning, it's the spring, it's the jump, it's the initial burst of life. It's also like assertiveness and masculinity and like it's the warrior sign, right? Okay. It's also like identity and your head literally represents the head. Whereas Pisces represents the feet. It represents ending. It's the last, quote unquote, last sign of the zodiac. So it takes all the other zodiac signs and energies, and it's like all of them together. It's like the collective unconscious. It's like the ocean. It encompasses all. Okay. Very different energies. It's also about like spirituality and like mysticism, isolation, that kind of stuff. That's the Pisces energy. Very different from your warrior Aries. Right. So like, what's the true zodiac sign?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. But to me, yeah, Carl Jung, baby. Exactly. So it's really interesting, and it's an interesting debate, because it's like if we go outside and we look, it looks different than what the tropical system says it is. So which one is the real one? Is this simulacra or is it not? So this is something that I've been testing lately. I'm like, well, the only way to really know for sure what one actually works is to test it out. We got to experiment with it.
Right.
So what can we see? So anyway, so far, what I found is that tropical is bang on.
Okay.
Because we're talking about the cycles of the season, and the cycles of the season are consistent all of the time.
Yes.
Right. And then we can add on another layer on top of that with the fixed stars, which are the stars of the constellations, and add extra flavor and more detail into it if you wanted to go that deep into it. And then with the sidereal, there isn't even an agreement about where 0 degrees Aries actually is, or where the boundaries of the constellations are. So it's kind of like,
yeah,
it's really complicated. If you open astrology software, there's more than 50 different ways to start where 0 degrees Aries is. It's really confusing.
So what's the point? Right, yeah.
It's really confusing. So anyway, whereas 0 degrees Aries being equinox, that's really simple.
Right,
it's really easy.
Start there, yeah.
Equal day, equal night, boom, that's 0 degrees Aries, done. So anyway, it's fascinating. It's definitely a fascinating debate. And yeah, and I hate questioning things. God damn it. but it's so important. So I'm like, okay, this is the system that I use, that I'm comfortable with, that I've seen work, that I've seen play out literally on the world stage, fucking to a T. What's up, Jenny? Jenny B in the chat.
Hey, Jenny!
What's up, Jenny?
You made it. Good to see you, sis.
So anyway, it's important to me to continue questioning these things. And to test out before I completely dismiss something. I have to test it out now. I have to. I don't have a choice. I have to. I can't just dismiss it and say that it's wrong without having a reason why and being able to articulate why. So right now I'm going through a very interesting process where I'm like, yeah, astrology all the way, tropical all the way. Wait, is this valid too? So, but what I've learned over the years is it's not necessarily always this or this. Sometimes it's yes and.
Yes and.
So that's kind of what I've been working with. And yeah, so astrology is fascinating and makes me want to pull my hair out.
Oh man.
And I love it at the same time. It's, oh my God. Yeah, no, I love it too.
Oh gosh, it's crazy to me, like to talk about this and like to have it be viable, because I feel like it really does. It makes sense. Like, oh my gosh, like when you even like read my birth chart to me, like trying to like wrap my head around like how it correlates, like not even like, I don't want this to be, oh, this is who you are and this is how you're supposed to be, and like change it to do that, but like be like, oh, okay, so this correlates to this, and that means that you're a people pleaser. And I was like, how did you know that? Like, like weird
math. That's how I do.
Seriously. And okay, so
yeah, so I have one really, really, really important thing to say about that, right? Okay, so your astrology chart is what you came in here with, right? That's your birth chart. The stars do not compel. They are tendencies only. And we are put here in order to overcome those stars, right? So when you have really nice stuff going on the chart, those are gifts. So use them appropriately as gifts. And when there are really difficult things going on in the chart, they're put here to forge you in the flames into a better person. So you can fall back on those tendencies and act out the worst parts of your chart. Anybody can. And I am so guilty of that all the time. All the time. I'm not perfect. definitely not perfect. But we're supposed to take those things, and with the knowledge of them, and I love how I love that you can look at it with a really like psychological lens, be like, okay, this is an energy that's playing out in my chart, and I just happen to be manifesting it outside of me with this crazy motherfucker. I can't. Oh, and I can't even be mad because it's my chart. Like,
wow,
and it's something that's being presented to me to integrate. And if I don't integrate it, I'm going to run into this motherfucker again in another form, the same archetype. Wow. So like, and astrology showed that to me in such a beautiful, perfect way that it's like, okay, there's huge value here for self-exploration and for self-improvement. And like, you know, I was definitely guilty for a little bit of just like blaming things on different placements, and I still do it like for fun. I'm like, it's my Mercury in Aries, you guys, but like, I'm like, sorry if I interrupt you. It's my Mercury, Mercury. But like, for real though. So anyway, I'll joke about it, but like, you're here to improve it. Not just fall back on it. It's not an excuse. It's something that you're supposed to roll with, and you know, overcome. And the other thing is like the other thing that comes up is like, I see astrology as a way for God to talk to us. Right? And all of that stuff, like reading the stars is like literally talking to God to me. And how do I even explain this? It's like, yes, thank you, Awakened Mind. It's true though. It's like, accept the cards that you were dealt with and then find a way to make them better.
Make them better. Yes, you make them better. You improve upon them. We are superpower. We have superpowers. We're superhuman. We used it.
Totally, yes. Yeah. So when I do a reading for somebody, I make sure to highlight, okay, here are some of your strengths. Here are some things that are not so great. But this is what this can turn into if you work on it. If you take this and like put the pedal to the metal and like get the lead out. To use the Saturnism. Wow, get the lead out. Fascinating. That's an interesting turn of phrase.
Get it?
Yeah.
Get it? Get the lead out. Okay, I like it. And you did
Saturn is lead. Yeah, so like it's always my hope to, when I do a reading for somebody, that they're like, okay, here's some validation for why I'm feeling this way and what I'm going through and the things that I've had like happen to me, but this is the energy that's in my chart and I'm gonna own it, and like this is the potential, right? So like some of your worst, quote unquote, worst aspects can become literally your superpowers. So like that's what I did with my story. Like my story reflects my chart perfectly. It's fucking crazy. But now I'm like, okay, how can I use this? Because this is gold. Because I've got the lead out.
Got the lead out. Now that it's gold, I got all the lead out. It's a refinement process. I love it.
It is. I mean, there's probably still some flecks of lead. Okay, we're still working on things, but
it's not perfect, right? We're not in utopia yet. We're still here in this reality, right? No, shit. I love it though. That's amazing. Yeah. I love that interpretation, and that is. It's so much more, I don't know, realistic and practical than, you know, the way that Southern Baptists view astrology. Right?
Burn the witch!
Burn the witch, right? You know?
I'm like, how about we smudge the witch? Can we smudge the witch instead?
Yeah, there we go! Seriously. And you look at it so bad, and it's not even it's something that can help us on our journey, the stars. So
Totally.
you said you believe that the stars is how, God communicates to us. So you obviously you found that higher power, you communicate through him, through the stars.
And through prayer and like, other stuff too. That's just one way.
That's just one way. Right. No, but everyone has
lots of ways.
There's lots of ways that he communicates to us. Exactly. There's so many different ways. And you believe the stars, I mean, they're constant, right? They have been constant forever. Do you believe they're out
Same
in
with
space?
the sun, man. See, I don't know. I don't know.
Because I don't believe they're out in space. I don't think that's their space. I think that's a firmament up there. What do you think they are?
Oh, God, I hate this question.
This is my favorite question.
I don't know. I really honestly don't know. I have resisted so hard going down the flat earth rabbit hole. I'm like, no, I won't do it.
Oh my gosh. Don't tell me I have somebody to go beat up. I will go find this man. People be like, why is this random black chick just like coming up to me, beat me up, put me in a hospital?
No, he believes in space. Boxing. It's not his fault.
I need somebody to take my aggression out on too. So listen, I'm gonna be mad if he messed up my flat earthness getting you in flat earth.
No. He's all into space, but and aliens and shit. Okay. But yeah, I honestly don't fucking know, okay? But like with astrology, it's a geocentric perspective. Okay. It's a geocentric perspective. That's what astrology is. It's a geocentric perspective. It's like, all right, here's the earth. Here's you standing on the earth. This is what you see in the sky. This is what you would not see on the sky because it's on the other side of the earth. And like, that's it. But
and that's it, though.
Yeah, like I try. I love digging into all sorts of crazy stuff now and like all sorts of different theories. And I'm definitely open to the thought process and to listening to the thought process and debating it even a little bit. And I would love to learn more. I'm not on the flat eirth yet. I'm like hollow earth. I like hollow earth.
You like hollow earth?
It's kind of an egg. Could it be an egg?
We're like talking about
Can it be a yes and? Can it be a yes and?
It can be a yes and. I will give you that. There is room for yes and. However, like rocks in space. Like, I'm sorry. So like that's one of the things that I have a problem with. So and that's even in my chart.
Can they be plasma?
I mean, yes. Plasma can be there too. But here's my thing. So like even in the chart that you gave me, like one of the I guess the nodes is an asteroid, right? It's
No. So the nodes, the north and the south node, Chiron is the only asteroid that I use. So
I knew there was an asteroid somewhere.
There's one. His name is Chiron, and he's important. But anyway, so the nodes of the moon, Rahu and Ketu, they're called in Vedic astrology. This is essentially what they are is the ecliptic, so the path of the sun, and the path of the moon, where they intersect is where the north and the south node are. So where the sun rises is the north node, where the sun sets is the south node. Okay. What these points are really is they help us predict where eclipses happen. So that's like the mundane, boring explanation. In mythology, it's the head and the tail of the dragon. I'm like, yeah, dragons. But anyway. Yeah, so anyway. Oh, God. Whew. Anyway.
I appreciate you. You're doing
north and the south node of the moon. But yeah, Rahu and Ketu, and the mythology for them is really fascinating because, oh man, I'm going to butcher this so bad. Oh, I'm so sorry to any Indians that are listening. So in Vedic astrology, Rahu wanted to be immortal like the other gods. That's all he wanted. He was not mortal and he wanted to be immortal, sorry. And they being the gods, were in a war with the demons. Gods versus demons. It's not the words that they use to describe those things, but that's essentially what they were. The devas versus the I forget the word, so I'm not gonna worry about it. It was gods versus demons, right? No. And Rahu found out that the gods were getting together to consume this like essentially the fountain of youth type thing, the immortal elixir, the holy grail, whatever the fuck, okay?
Okay.
So, and he wanted in on that, right? So Rahu joined the party, but he was like dressed in such a way that they couldn't tell that it was him. And he was sitting there and just his hands were visible and he had skeleton hands. But he drank some of this elixir before they figured it out. And Vishnu was like, hold up, motherfucker, you don't belong here. And he was beheaded. Thus, the head and the tail of the dragon, Rahu and Ketu. So the energy of Rahu is like this hungry, consuming, obsessive energy where it's like, I need this. That's Rahu.
Just like that.
Just like that. But where Rahu is in your chart is somewhere, it's something that you're not very comfortable with because it's a new thing that you're building on. They say that Rahu is where you're building your future karma. And Ketu is the past that you've come from. Whether you believe in past lives or whatever reincarnation type thing that you believe in, I don't know.
I'm kind of up in the air right now. It's so weird for me. I'm so
I know. I'm like,
I don't like it. I don't know.
I'm like, I don't know, man. I've seen some shit. But anyways, the South Node. But the South Node, because that's a decapitated body, he has no head. And because we're talking about decapitation in general, there's definitely a theme of needing to let go. So the South Node, wherever the South Node is, they say that it's like your past life karma coming back, that kind of stuff. And it's all about like learning to detach from those things where your South Node is. But it's really, you need a balance. You can't always be in your South Node because then you're not building your future. Right. And you can't always be in your North Node because then you're forgetting where you came from. And there's gifts in your past from your South Node that you need to bring forward to, you know, help you on this journey. Like you can't, like, you know, if you got a magical wand sitting at home, you're not going to leave it at home. Shit.
No,
you're
right?
going to bring it with you.
That's my tool. Yeah. That's the most important tool.
Yeah, exactly. But with the South Node, we do have to detach from those things. So like for me, for example, this will make my story make so much sense. I have South Node in my 7th house, the house of partnerships, relationships. And my North Node is in the 1st house. People with that pattern, not always, but often end up falling into codependent type situations where they feel like they need that other person and they like need to take care of other people and they need to be like a caretaker, especially with the signs that are associated with mine. Mine's Cancer on the 7th and Capricorn on the 1st. So Cancer's like nurturing and mothering and like family type stuff. Yeah. That's my South Node. So that's where I'm comfortable, is at home, taking care of people, in a relationship, you know, doing my thing, being taken care of. My North Node is in Capricorn in the 1st house. I'm supposed to be building me. I'm supposed to be building my path. I'm supposed to be doing my thing. But if I'm only focusing on me, then what happens to all of my relationships?
Right.
What happens to that balance? There has to be a balance. So, and I gained so many gifts from my South Node placement. Like, this is pretty crazy shit. And if I hadn't have worked on that stuff, where would I be now? I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now, right? So anyway, it's fascinating for me. And I have to be so careful when I get into relationships that I don't just get fucking consumed by them, because I can. I'll literally lose my head, K2. I'll literally lose my head.
Oh my gosh. Literally lose your head. That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So I have to find a balance between the two. And that's interesting. So like the last few years for me has been really important for building my 1st house, which is all about me and my body and my relationship to myself and my own personality and finding my voice and figuring out who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
And you need a solid 1st house before any kind of like relationship can really be healthy. So anyway, that's me.
That's crazy though, and I love that, and that your explanation of that. So tell me how the asteroid works in there.
Well, supposedly there's an asteroid and his name is Chiron. I talked about Chiron. Yeah, thanks, Jenny B. I know. Anyway, so the story of Chiron. So Chiron is the wounded healer. He's a centaur. I'm telling you the mythology of it because it makes sense. It helps it make sense.
Centaurs. You can talk about centaurs. Keep going.
Okay, cool. I'm like, it's all mythology, brah. So anyway, so this centaur, Chiron, most of the centaurs at that time were very brutish. They're more in their animal nature rather than their human nature. They'd rather party and adventure and sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Okay.
That's like the typical centaur. But Chiron was like, no. He was way more in his human self. He was much more focused on healing and learning all of these modalities about how to help people. And he was a sage. He was wise and he was a sage. And essentially what happened was he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And there are a few different versions of the story. But essentially what happened with Chiron is he got shot with an arrow, very Sagittarius vibe, shot with an arrow that was poisoned, and it happened to be a wound that he couldn't heal himself. So it's like, so where Chiron is in your horoscope shows where there's some kind of core wound that you didn't cause, that was unfair, unjust, that just occurred, that you need to deal with, but it's not something that's easy to deal with by yourself. The key with Chiron, and it's literally a key shape, it's a line with like, okay, that looks like shit. It's a fucking key. It's literally a key for the symbol, okay? So where Chiron is in your horoscope, the story of Chiron is that when he was able to help other people with the same kind of wound that he had, suddenly he started feeling better. For me, my Chiron is in my 7th house of relationships. Fucking what do you know?
Wow, don't that beat all?
Ain't that a bitch? So anyway, so the key with Chiron is like there's something there that's probably caused in childhood. Maybe it's a past life thing. I don't know, but it usually shows up really early in life, and it becomes a pattern. And whatever house it's in, that kind of like tells you what area of life it's in, and the sign gives it a lot of flavor. So like, for example, my Chiron's in Cancer. Cancer is about vulnerability and nurturing and shit. I don't like sharing my feelings, okay? This is terrifying. This is terrifying.
Sharing feelings.
Yeah. But like I have to. And with the seventh house thing, I tend to attract to me people, especially while doing readings. Not everyone that's come to me for a reading has this kind of aspect or pattern, but a lot of them have, where they have gone through really crazy partnership relationship things. So it's like I give off this energy. And I don't know. So I give off this energy where like that is something that people are attracted to, especially if they have had those kinds of issues in the past. And because of my experiences, I can help people.
Yeah, exactly.
But I've had to learn how to only do it when they ask for it.
Ah, yes. That is key, because you cannot help someone who's not willing to help themselves or who doesn't want it. They have to be ready.
And
shove stuff down their throat.
Right? And like it's my pattern to try and fix people, and like people don't like that. People don't want to be fixed. And it's also not healthy for me. So like that's my that's my Node and Chiron bullshit that plays out all the time, because I'm like, but I can help you, and like I can help you feel better. There's that Cancer theme. I can help you feel better and help you feel loved, and maybe like you'll change. And then it's like,
no.
But am I taking care of myself? So anyway.
Yeah. Like gosh. Go ahead.
so now it's like with the Chiron stuff and with astrology and all of that, like now I take that and that's now like my superpower. And the way that I have it so that people ask me for help is they come to me for a reading, and then that's fair game. I'm allowed to help you with that and help you find that love within, awakened mind. Absolutely. And right. So like, yeah, that gives me permission to like, okay, you came to me for a reading. Now we can talk about this. But like, I also have to make it clear, like, I'm not a therapist or a counselor. We can talk. I've been through some shit.
Right.
But like, if there's other things going on, or there are some things that you need to talk to, like someone that's trained to deal with that. Like, like I could list examples, but I'm sure you have a pretty mature audience that understands the fucking time.
I would hope so. I would hope so at this
point.
I
hope so.
Yes, that's crazy.
Yeah. So now with astrology and with asteroids and planets and nodes and all of this stuff, what it actually is less important than how it shows up in our lives. And that's kind of just the stance that I've taken over the last couple of years. Because like, for example, I can't see Pluto unless I have a very high powered telescope. But I can tell you with a fucking fact that Pluto exists because I have experienced it firsthand through transit. Firsthand through transit. It was sitting on my moon all last year. So I was like, oh, I know Pluto is there. Pluto has made him or herself known to me very, very clearly. But I can't see him in the sky without a very powerful telescope. And I don't have one of those because I'm not rich. But
oh my gosh.
You know what I mean?
Or a camera that's $1,000. I mean, shit. If I had an extra $1,000, you know, I wouldn't spend it on that, honestly, because I got other issues. But you know, that would be nice to be able to have an extra $1,000 just to throw away to a camera and have that.
Yeah.
But, there is a community camera somewhere floating around. I would love to get on that list. Right. So if somebody knows how to get me on that community camera list so that I can have a turn with the camera, that'd be dope.
Yeah, totally 100%, Cody. That is a key part in healing within, to put out what you need within and to like figure out what it is that you need and find ways to give that to yourself.
Oh shit! Now come through, Tony, my brother. Listen, you just put it out in the universe. You don't even know who's listening, and it's gonna respond back to you. What? Magic. And it's somebody I knew too. I thought it was like over in Australia somewhere. I thought I don't know.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
That's amazing. That's crazy. And I want to try better to, you know, keep open-minded about how the stars affect us, because I mean, I can't deny it. I don't want to put you on the spot too much, but I did watch your last video. Would you mind showing the chart from this new moon? Would you mind giving us a little bit of that so we can like give us a visual and we can see something? I think that would be really beneficial for the audience so that we can just have a little quick reading. If you're okay with that. Would be cool. You guys are so awesome. I appreciate you for being here. Let me see who's still here. Christy C, I love you, girl. You're awesome. You're new. Thanks for jumping in. You've been here a couple of times. I appreciate you. Shannon LeGros, I saw earlier that you had said something about your abusive ex. Girl, listen, right there. I mean, not really, but I sympathize. Robbie Turbo, much love to you. Your heart will be healed one day. Yah looks after you, and you keep trusting him to bring you a partner. because there is one for you. Awakened Mind, I appreciate you for still being here. And to Cody Clareman, you guys have been dope people. Sherry and Jenny and RT. Oh gosh, you guys, I appreciate you. What did you say? Many tunnels and even cities underground. Oh, the Earth plane hollow. Yeah. I think the whole hollow Earth thing is super interesting. I feel like there is definitely way too many underground stuff going on for it to not be super plausible. I am also under the impression, because I've read Enoch. So RT, I think I'm talking to you, and you've read this. It talks about, the portals of the sun and the moon, and how, it supposedly travels under or something like that. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I'm not ruling anything out here so far. All you guys, thanks for the love. I appreciate it. Oh, hey, Light and Dawn, you came. Hey, good to see you, sis. Much love.
I'm ready.
You're ready? All right. So we're
ready.
going to get a little impromptu reading for this month, you guys, for the new moon, right? If you and she did put this video out on her channel. Let me drop that one more time. Channel.
All right. Oops. Come back here. Okay. We're ready.
Where is your channel?
if you search my name, Kayleigh Berkana, you'll find it.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I'm the only one.
Pretty sure Berkana. That is a unique last name. I don't think I've heard that.
It's actually a Norse rune.
It's a rune, you say?
Yeah, it's a Norse rune. Actually, I have them sitting right beside me. Yeah, so I am Swedish. So the first system that I really started looking at and working with on a daily basis was the Futhark. And unfortunately, because the Norse used an oral tradition, and then were completely taken over and Christianized, we've lost so much. We've lost so much. And like, this plays into my anger at Christianity in general. Okay, I'm like, that's my culture, motherfuckers. But anyway, don't get me started on Christmas. So anyway,
my gosh, don't get me started on Christmas. Shit.
Don't get me started on Christmas.
Pagan holiday.
Fun. Anyway, so this is the rune Berkana or Berkana. Berkana or Berkana, and it actually represents it's the rune of the concept of motherhood, and not the seed, but the energy that breaks open the seed in spring and allows new growth to come up. So I picked that one specifically because I felt like I was in the process of blooming and becoming, and Berkana is the energy of becoming. It also can represent, actually, it's funny, I didn't actually plan that, but I like to think of it as the mother bear energy. And here's the baby bear. That's kind of neat that I picked that one.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's the mother bear energy. So like, it's like sometimes the mama energy has to come out and be all rawr in order to protect. So Berkana can be a sacred space and the energy needed to protect that sacred space, and also the energy of becoming. So it's a bit complicated. There's some layers to it, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, girl. Runes. I want to get into that kind of stuff. That and crystals too. I think those are some really cool things. All right, so I'm excited for this. And you guys go check out her shit channel again. Check it out.
Yeah, so whenever you're ready to hit the share button there, I've got it ready. Oh, yes, beautiful. Okay, so hopefully this doesn't glitch out too bad. Okay, so what you're looking at here is a typical Western astrology chart. All right, so basically the line going across, I'll kind of like break down the structure of the chart, just for anybody that's new, the line going across is literally the line of the horizon. And this represents the local space where you're standing on the earth. Okay, so this is the horizon line. On this side, the left side of the chart, is the eastern horizon. The top is the south, like that's facing south, or you would be standing in the south facing, but anyway, and that's the western horizon there where the sun sets. Okay, so the new moon actually happened when the sun was below the horizon. So this is above the horizon up here, this is below the horizon down here. Okay, so new moon down here, right? So the circle with the dot in the middle of it, let me zoom in a bit. The circle with the dot is the sun.
Okay.
All right. The crescent is the moon. All right. So the new moon in modern Western tropical is defined as when they are conjunct, which means on the same degree. In ancient Babylonia, they consider a new moon when you first see the visible crescent, the very first appearance of the crescent. So it's interesting that we define it differently, and I'm honestly not quite 100% certain myself which is more accurate. That's why I'm experimenting with both. But anyway.
Okay. I like it.
But the conjunction always represents a new cycle starting, right? It's a new cycle. So anyway, this is a new moon. There's two other luminaries involved in this new moon, right? There's Mercury, which is right here in green with the crescent horns and then the circle and then the little cross. That's Mercury. And then above that, there's Chiron, speaking of that motherfucker.
Yeah, the key. Okay, yeah, it definitely looks like the key. I see it,
right, so it's a key. And I'm not mad at Chiron. I'm just, that's me jokingly blaming the astrology for shit that's not the astrology's fault. Okay, so anyway, so this is the new moon, right? So at the moment of the new moon for my particular location, it was at, where's my local time? It was at right after midnight, right? Okay. So 024. So this time will be different, and the chart will look a little bit different based on where you are on the earth. I will sit on the globe and I'm like, oh no, I'm talking to flat earthers. Oh shit.
I appreciate you for trying though. Dang. Yeah, you did
I appreciate you, Ro, for making me open my mind. So anyway.
You're welcome.
Okay. So when we're looking at a new moon, right? We're looking at a new month, right? And this is in tropical. So this is the new moon in Aries. Okay. So that was a very long-winded way to break this down. Okay, so new moon, right? Sun is the masculine principle. Moon is the feminine principle. These two coming together symbolizes a refreshing of sorts, right? It's the beginning of the new month. This is kind of the energy that will carry through the whole month. In Aries, with Aries, we're talking about the initial impulse of spring. So it's appropriate that I was just showing you Berkana because that's the energy of breaking open the seed. And one of the cool things about this particular symbol of Aries is one of the things that it looks like is sprouting leaves coming like a sprout, right? Yeah. The first two leaves that come out and open up from a seed.
Are Aries, right? Really?
Springtime, people. My dudes. I don't know. So anyway, Aries. Other things that Aries represent are like masculinity, assertiveness, being first. Because it's like the first sign, it's the impulse of spring. It's like, boom, let's go, motherfuckers, pedal to the metal. Aries is ruled by the planet or the luminary Mars. Mars is over here chilling with Saturn. Chilling. Saturn's cold. It's chilling with Saturn. Square the nodes. Here's the nodes that we were talking about earlier. Yeah, this is Rahu, the north node. This is Ketu, the south node. Okay. This is important. I didn't talk about this very much in my new moon video, which I should have, but sorry, I was rushing. I'm not gonna lie, I was rushing.
No, it's okay.
So, new moon cycle. This is the energy for the month. All right. So this is about starting things. Aries is all about starting things, initiating things, whatever that is for you. And depending on what your chart looks like, this will fall into a different house. The houses show you what area of life things happen in. So like, for example, I talked about the 1st and 7th house axis. These are the 1st and 7th houses up here, right? Here's 1st, here's 7th. That's me versus you or us, right? Yeah. Okay, so anyway, so where this play out in your life will be different depending on what your chart looks like. And that is why knowing your birth time is so important, because your birth time is what determines how the houses are actually laid out, where that horizon line sits. So because this is also with Chiron and Mercury, this changes the interpretation a little bit. It adds more detail and flavor to it. So with Mercury, Mercury is all about how our brain works. It's all about how we talk, how we communicate. Okay, so keep that in mind, and we'll come back to it. Chiron, like I said, Chiron is all about our wounds that we struggle to heal ourselves, but get us to help others, and that helps us heal ourselves. Like, it's Chiron. What's really interesting to me about Chiron transiting tropical Aries right now is we are having huge conversations around identity. Whether that's how we identify because of some agenda, whether that's how we identify because we're waking up to the deception that's all around us. You know, how we identify is really important right now. Also, a wound to our identity is happening right now. The other thing the Aries represents that is really important is Aries is about your bodily autonomy. This is me. Aries, the like motto for Aries is I am. This is me. This is mine. I identify as this. This is my body, my spirit, all of that. So Chiron being a wound in the sign of Aries is people being wounded in regards to their personal bodily autonomy. Yeah. Holy crap. Yeah. So that's crazy. And like, do you own your body or not? Is this your property or not? And like, body has a lot to do with Taurus as well, because Taurus is the 5 senses. Yeah. But Aries is the before you can claim to even like know and explore your senses, you have to know that you are in fact a being. So this is huge. With the new moon right on top of Chiron, this is an opportunity for us to work through and heal some of this. This is an opportunity for us to claim our identity and who we really are. Claim sovereignty. That's Aries in a nutshell, is sovereign. Aries is nope, I'm gonna do it my way. Over here, Aries is the pioneer, right? So these are really important themes for the month, as you know, we're moving through Aries season, but also like Chiron, it's really about trying to find that healing and you know, working through that. What was super, super interesting, and we brought this up actually on Weaving Spiders Welcome last night, is with the whole Holly Weird Will Smith slap. What was fascinating about that, Cheney brought up that it's a ritual to talk about this energy that's coming in right now. And I got to agree with that, because we're talking about a slap. So violence to the head, right? That's Aries. We're also talking about a lady with a bald head because of the disease. That's Chiron showing up. There's some kind of wound or issue happening with her head. That's literally Chiron, wound, head, Aries. Right. And then, and we were, right. And we were also, everybody was fucking talking about it, Mercury, but also keep my wife's name out your mouth. Yeah. Using his mouth, saying, don't you dare talk about my wife. That's the energy of the new moon. That's so crazy. And of course, this event hadn't happened by the time I did my new moon video, right? Like, or if it had, I don't even remember. Time is weird. Time is weird. I don't even remember if that had happened yet or not. But it was so crazy to me because like that's literally the energy of this month, is that theme of like, nope, this is mine. And whether the violence was justified, whether it was staged, it really honestly doesn't matter, because that is the energy that is happening right now. So anyway, super fascinating. So where this falls in your chart is going to kind of like show a lot about like how that unfolds for you. So like, for example, Rel, you are a Cancer ascendant. So using a whole sign house system where each sign is a house, this is your 10th house.
Okay.
So for your 10th house represents your obligations to society, your vocation. It's the most public facing house because it's where the sun is at noon. It's the most visible, right?
Okay.
So that's kind of how you think about it. 10th house, it's noon. So this is like you initiating something new this month in your 10th house, whether that is bringing some person that's new, whether it's bringing some kind of healing aspect to the channel, which is hilarious because that's what I've been talking about this entire fucking episode.
Episode, man.
Holy shit. I didn't plan this, y'all. I did not plan this. But anyway, so like, this is you initiating some new things in your 10th house that have to do with talking about healing and talking about the keys and talking about, you know, how can we assert ourselves and like be individuals, because Aries is all about being an individual. And I got chills. Holy shit. Anyway, so I have no idea what other topics you're actually going to talk about on your show, but like, this is your 10th house. Girl, this is your 10th house right now. We're talking on it right now. So that's really cool. And it also kind of like, it shows that like, this will be an area that you're going to be focusing on for this month very heavily. And there's a big opportunity for you to have like lots of healing, working with the internal archetype of the authority figure, because the 10th house is our perception of authority. And it's whether it's like you stepping into being your own authority, right? Being responsible for your own self and how you are interacting with the wider world and what you're trying to give back to the world or whatever. Like, those are themes of the 10th house. And this is all about initiating something and healing some kind of internal dialogue with authority, specifically because it's the 10th house.
Wow. This is so fascinating right now. I cannot even tell you. You have to stay after the show and I will tell you.
I can do that. That's fucking hilarious. But anyway, so like,
God, this shit is so weird. Like, I cannot even. I cannot even. Like the sky clock. You said these are just tendencies, right? These are just suggestions. Like, I really do have my own free will, right? Like,
I don't know. It's up for debate. Okay. Here's the thing, though, right? I'm going to stop this. Oh, yeah. Okay. One more thing that's really important to note. So, because the ruler, right, the planet that rules the sign is Mars, it's important to look at where Mars is and what Mars is doing. All right. Because it colors it some more. It's another layer of depth that we got to look at. Mars is about to conjunct with Saturn. Saturn is all about limitation, restriction, structure, responsibility. All of these planets have two sides to them, right? And a spectrum in between it. There's no black and white. It's not like Saturn is this evil cube out to get you. No. But you need that motherfucker, okay? We wouldn't have physical reality. Yeah, we need responsibility and structure, or like we're lost in the seas of Neptune, and that's not a good time. Yeah, that's when drugs come in. So anyway, Mars is about to conjunct Saturn. So we're all collectively, like all of us, about to have an experience that relates quite heavily to how things are going to go moving forward, that relates to this is the themes that I've already been talking about. This is my body. This is what I want. This is how I want to get it. Those are themes of Mars. And Saturn, here's a restriction that you have to pay attention to.
Okay.
Saturn is often an authority figure. Not always, but often an authority figure. And because it's in square to the nodes, it's highly, highly tied to fate. And because the North Node is in Taurus, financial systems, because the South Node is in Scorpio, trust, intimacy, unfortunately, trauma. Scorpio is a very deep, dark sign, and this is a very difficult nodal axis.
Yeah,
it's an intense one.
It's pointing
it's an
right
intense
there.
one.
I mean, it's all in red. I mean, that looks difficult.
It is difficult. But the really important thing, the most important thing to get out of this, though, is this new moon is intended to inspire in you, like, what do you believe in? Where is the boundary for you? Because Saturn is all about boundaries, and Mars is the energy that helps you create and structure. It helps you, give you the energy to structure those boundaries how they need to be, right? So if there's somebody that you have to cut off, now is the time to do it. And you might in fact have some kind of a run-in where you are forced to cut that energy off, or that person off, or whatever that situation off. When it comes to like the financial systems, this is huge, okay? Because Aquarius has a lot to do with networks, decentralized groups. Crypto is definitely categorized as an Aquarius type of energy because it's finances, but it's over the networks, right?
Right.
Taurus has a lot to do with your physical possessions, wealth, abundance, money, the five senses, the real world. And then Scorpio has actually a lot to do with shared finances. It's the merging of two energies. It's like, what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine. Quite literally, that's Scorpio.
Wow.
So there's huge implications as Saturn is approaching, or as Mars, sorry, is approaching this Saturn for like what could potentially pop off. And whatever it is, it's going to shake up the world in a very, very real way. So now, this moon, right now, this is the time when you need to decide, this is who I am. I'm strong in who I am. And if something is going to come up that's going to push your buttons, you need to take a couple steps back, woosah, and don't get caught up in the Mars energy so much so that you bulldoze over something, because that Saturn is there to work with. So it's important to be like, okay, this is who I am, this is what I want, this is my boundary. I'm going to defend my boundary, but I'm also like, if emotions start getting heated and things start bubbling to the surface, as they tend to when you've got Mars and Aries involved, especially when it has to do with how we speak to each other, because Mercury is involved, especially if it has to do with how we speak and how it can possibly hurt other people, we have to be careful that we're not taking this energy and projecting it outwards, or like seriously hurting other people with it. So like, I didn't get into all of that on my new moon video. I should have though, but
yeah, no, it's okay.
It's coming out now. It's
really
coming out
fast
now.
though. You were trying to hit all of the signs and what it meant, so you weren't really trying to get into that.
Yeah. But yeah, so
that was good. That was awesome. Oh my gosh. There's a lot.
Yeah, so oh god, it is a lot.
It's just so fascinating to me, like just how this realm works together, and how creation, you know, it's just as above so below, like as within so without. Like that is what I am finding more and more and more. Macro, micro, it's just like there's the polarities. I'm starting to read the Hermetic, or I guess, am I saying that correctly? The Kabbalion. I'm reading that, and like that, I'm just like, I don't disagree with anything so far. It's like, it's like, wow. Okay.
Well, you're not wrong.
Yeah, right. So,
yeah, it's fascinating. But yeah, so yeah, closing words on this month, man, is like things are gonna be heated no matter where you turn, and you just have to turn within as much as you can. And if things are getting heated, take just a couple steps back, take a couple deep breaths, and realize that this too shall pass. And I mean, this is where the debate of like free will versus like is everything predestined comes in. And what I say is this, like I said, there are tendencies that come up with the stars, and like I feel like looking at the astrology chart is looking at like the weather, and it's like, okay, I know that there's going to be some crazy shit coming up, and because I know that, I'm aware of it, I can do more practices to help me stay in my body. I can do more things that help me fill my cup. I can realize that like if things are really heating up in some particular relationship, you know, maybe it needs to just cool down for like just maybe a day, maybe 2 days, you know, and you know, maybe I'm actually the jackass, you know, like, who knows? Or maybe they're the jackass and I need to make a boundary, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of.
Wow. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate you. I put you on the spot to do a whole reading, but I definitely appreciate you for doing that. And I got 2 more questions to kind of like close down the segment, because this has been such an amazing stream and show, and I think my audience has just loved and gleaned so much knowledge and wisdom from you, my love. I appreciate it. Okay, so
you have some pretty dope people in here. I gotta say, you guys are pretty awesome.
Thank you. I love my tribe, and I feel very blessed to have found it and to have so much support and encouragement, you know, with my little new channel. It's awesome. Okay, so but for the people who are looking into astrology and astronomy and everything, what would your first pieces of advice be as we, you know, us new people come and look into it?
Oh God. The first thing that I would say would be to take what you hear with a grain of salt. And if something doesn't quite fit, that's okay. You can always come back to it. Or maybe it's the person that you're listening to. Like I said before, a big issue that I was having was finding people that were popular but weren't necessarily actually speaking truth, or weren't actually necessarily like they believed what they were saying, which was fine, but then it's like, this isn't resonating with me, and be okay moving on from someone if it's like, okay, I really, really liked this person and their delivery, but I don't agree with what they're saying. So be open to switching, to finding somebody different. The other thing is like, oh God, there are so many different schools of astrology that it can be really hard to find one that like you totally agree with. So I end up mixing several schools together because I'm just like,
right.
So you know, be open to that. And the other thing about astrology, especially, is any tool that we have that has the possibility of being used for our own betterment and empowerment has and will be fucked with. So keep that in mind. And I'm sure you guys already fucking know that. You already know that. So keep that in mind when looking at stuff. And if something has been heavily demonized, you guys already know that there's probably something there to at least look at. And with astrology, it's really popular right now, but for a really long time, it was like a laughing stock, like, oh, you actually believe in that?
It was. Yeah,
and with the newspaper things of like your sun sign astrology stuff, like pop astrology is not real astrology. Like I just broke down for you why your birth time is important and why the houses are important. It's so much deeper than just your sun sign. So that's a great place to start. Look at your sun sign, but also try to make an effort to find out what your moon sign is and what your rising sign is. because that's the real meat and potatoes of astrology. That's where the real magic comes out. So,
and my moon sign is the same as my
Cancer.
rising sign because it's Cancer, because my moon is my ruling planet.
yes,
And
ma'am.
I'm learning.
remember.
Look, I know these things. Guys, that's crazy. But it's funny because
Yeah.
my moon, the moon is the ruling planet, and it's in Cancer. But I'm born in Aquarius, so that makes me an Aquarius. So I go with that.
Yes. So you have your sun is in Aquarius, and the sun is very important. It's kind of the brightest thing in the sky, you know. It's pretty impactful. It's pretty impactful, but it's not the whole of your chart. You are the whole zodiac. You're a whole being. You're not just Aquarius, and you're not just Cancer, but Cancer is your first house, and you're most affected by the moon than by any Aquarius energy. But Aquarius, the sun is still really important. It's just that's not the whole picture. So, you know,
we put so much emphasis on I'm Aquarius and this is it. And there's like everything everywhere. It's like, Aquarius, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, wait, we're like so many different things. Like I do associate with more than one. Like I feel like, certain percentages, on all of those memes, right? It's like, Aquarius, it says, don't slap me. And Taurus says, slap me harder. And, like, I don't know.
Taurus is like, yeah, but like, can we like have snacks and cuddle?
Can we have sex and cuddle? Can we do no slapping, please? Oh gosh, but anyway, so like I feel like I could be like a percentage of different ones. So
and I mean like totally 100%. And like if you look at your chart, like your Venus will be in one sign and your Mercury will be in another, and all of those energies are active in you. And like in addition to that, like we experience transits, right? So like as things don't stay static. Life isn't static. It moves all the time. So like while the sun is moving through different signs, like I just showed you guys, the new moon in Aries, even if you have no Aries in your chart, you're still going to experience some Aries energy when the new moon in Aries happens, right? So that's the other thing that I would say. That, and the last thing that I would say, the last thing is just go explore. Just go explore. Just go explore. Have fun with it. Have fun with it. Yeah.
All good advice. Oh my gosh. Okay, so for the last thing about the astrology, you do offer readings, and you can. We've already dropped her Telegram in the chat. I believe it's $100 US for a reading.
I'll give your viewers a discount. I'll do a 20% discount for your viewers.
Oh, look at that, you guys. Yeah. I just got a discount for my viewers. So,
well, you're a good girl. You're so sweet.
So nice. Oh, guys. Y'all better listen. She did this for this channel. So that means you need to go and please get a reading from my girl Kayleigh, okay? What is the discount? Like, can it be REL? Can the discount code be REL?
Yeah, so I don't have a website. Yeah, just like saw you on REL. I'll be like, okay, yeah, because I don't have a website set up right now. So you have to either email me and just be like, I'm in the know. Okay, saw you on Sisterhood of the Warrior Queens. I'm like, all right, okay.
Yeah, so you guys, you heard it here. You gotta let her know where you saw it so that you could get the discount. But she honestly, it is not. I mean, you need to pay full price because she goes so in depth, and she's very, very generous with her time, and she doesn't have to be. So you guys, this is a steal, and you need to take it up. Take her up on that. Okay, so my last question, which we didn't really get into any of the too much stuff like other conspiracies like health or anything like that, but one thing that I really do talk to, or I try to ask my sisters there is a movement that I feel like that is coming where the truther community is starting to really break away from society as much as they can. I think there's lots of communities out there that have gotten started. They are, trading with each other. They are growing their own crops, their own food. They are trying to do what they can to be self-sustaining. And that is something that I would love, and I think you would love as well. In Utopia, what would you want your job to be? We say we have our community. We're all neighbors. We're doing stuff. What is Kayleigh's job? What do people come to Kayleigh for? Do people come to Kayleigh for astrology? I mean, that would be cool. But what would you like to do, Kayleigh? What would you spend your time doing for the community?
Growing herbs.
Herbs, bet.
I'm already doing that. Yeah.
Okay,
100%.
so you are into healing and like health and stuff like that too.
Oh yeah.
Girl, I didn't even get into that with you, and I'm all about that life. All about that life.
Yep. Yeah. we could talk, instead of talking about the stars, we could talk about the earth next time.
We can talk about the earth next time. Yes, but the stars are definitely important, and something that I haven't, it's new to me, so I appreciate you for coming on. But I'm going to do a health and wellness month next month, I think. So
nice.
I might be knocking on your door to come and chat with me again. Maybe we'll see.
I'm a noob when it comes to that stuff, but I love talking about what I have learned and figured out.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. All right, awesome. Well, you guys, this has been an amazing little chat with my friend Kayleigh. You guys have been such troopers for sticking with us thus far. I appreciate you. Jenny, I'm so sorry about your back, my dear. That RSO will definitely eventually kick in and help you out. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. But Melanie Moran and Singles Bookstore, what's up, Kevin? Awakened Mind, Shannon, Nemo, and Sile? How do I say that? Cecil? Siel? Sile? C? Oh, anyway. Hey, bro, dude, girl, sister, friend. Hey to you. And Ryan, much love to you. Enlightened Dawn and Waters Above and Cody and Christy and oh my gosh, so many people. Sherry went to bed already, but I appreciate you guys for being here. Again, please go and check out Miss Kayleigh on YouTube, and you can get she's got paintings, she's got leather. Y'all can't get the Aquarius, and you cannot get the Capricorn because they were taken. And anything else that I missed for you?
Telegram channel is Kayleigh Berkana.
Telegram.
Come find me. Goodbye, man.
That's where you go find her. All right. Well, Kayleigh, thank you so much. I appreciate you for talking with me. This has been such an amazing.
Yep.
Please come back again. I would love it.
Definitely. I'll be here.
Definitely. So, you guys, I am going to play out a song. I do have a song today. I thought ahead. Look at me. We're going to have a song to play out, and then the what is the thing called? The theme song. So you guys can stick around and chat it out for another 7 minutes if you really wanted to. That is how long it's going to be going for. So I have just on the Melodome. You would like the Melodome, Kayleigh, if you haven't found that yet. It's a dope show to find. But Mike Love on the Melodome. So we're gonna listen to some cool music on the way out. All right, guys, come back to Sisterhood of the Warrior Queens. Y'all have a great day.
With you and you know she can't take you with you and you go collect your silver, collect your gold, but in the end what will you have to show? 'Cause she can't take go. I was born at 1:45 in the morning in the best suit I ever worn, and with my first breath I sang out a warning to the world I had arrived. And I cried out when I first saw the light. I was blinded. I had been so in love with the darkness, but adjustment is just part of life. And everywhere I looked, everything was changing. And every moment a new face was appearing and steering me, clearing my path to the next phase of the maze of unfolding, awakening and shaking me. And then the track from the heart of my mother, and heard the song from the soul of my father, and further I flew and into this new world of opportunity, moving me, forming and informing me. So tell me, teach me, show me everything I need to know. 'Cause you can't take it with you and you know. I was a punk little teenager tormenting my mother with all the mistakes I made. Yeah, but I never once put a possession over a person. That's just how I was raised. And I labored in a full jump for minimum wage. Yeah, but my savior was this kid tossing aloha to these new slave traders. I never fucking waste another drop of perspiration on a corporation, no matter what they say. No! And I don't need no Christmas bonus. I don't need no raise. It won't do you no good in your grave. No! It won't do you no good in your grave. We'll break your back, go one slave away to count your coins up at the end of the day. It won't do you no good in your grave. No. When I grew into what they referred to as a man, I was told I had to have a plan. I never really understood why, but I told them I would try it. Oh, seems the system is just designed to make you want shit you don't really need. Fill your heart with grief, plant the seed of separation in your soul. But just remember, happiness cannot be bought or sold. Take it with you and you don't go. Children, listen, please, yo. Let me say my piece, yo. Growing up is a disease. Don't you catch it? Collect your gold, but in the end, what will you have to show? 'Cause you can't take it with you and you go. No! You can take my love with you and you go. Come on, family! And I'll take your love with me when I go. And hand in hand, we'll leave this land and go wherever the trade winds blow. And we'll take this love with us when we go.
Sisterhood of the warrior queens, we are strong women fighting evil unseen. We are mothers and daughters, sisters and and friends, we are seeking and guarding the truth till the end. Sisterhood of the warrior queens, united we stand in harmony. Sisterhood of the warrior queens, we are strong women fighting evil unseen. We are mothers and daughters, sisters and friends, we are seeking and guarding the truth till the end. Sisterhood of the warrior queens, united we stand in harmony. Sisterhood of the warrior queens, hand in hand, creating our destiny. Sisterhood